Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So this is Batty Pra and I'm bringing you a tips and tricks videos for new people who are starting the game in 2023. So as you know, this game came out around 4 years ago, so therefore you'll be kind of behind. So using these tips and tricks which I'm going to show you in this video, you'll be able to improve and also go to your next level, so which is your intermediate level, and play in arenas and stuff, right? So first thing, I'm going to be just teaching you the basic options which are present in the game. So basically so when you load up the screen, you will come into this lobby. So this is called as the lobby. You can play this game with 3 other players if you have not tried it as of now. Then there's an option to play duos as well. So there's also a game mode called ranked leagues. So mainly you'll be playing either your normal matches, which are going to be your public matches, or your ranked leagues, which are nothing but your arena matches. So for now, if you're a beginner, stay out of ranked leagues. You'll just be doing trios or duos. So so trios are more popular currently, so I guess that is the one you'll be choosing. If you have a team, it is well and good, or else you can just randomly fill the teammates and go here. So now I'm going to talk about some tricks which you can use, right? So first thing is to optimize your gameplay. In order to optimize your gameplay, you have your settings here, right? So always you need to play on as much high volume as you can, because the better the audio, the better you can hear the footsteps and better you can kill people, right? All your options for incoming voice chat, recording voice chat, push to talk and all, right? The only options I need to touch upon is going to be your anonymous mode. So if you are a streamer or someone, so you can enable anonymous mode so that you can hide your details currently, right? Else there's also a colorblind mode. So I don't recommend using colorblind mode in this one. You can use colorblind mode to kind of see better. Even if you're not colorblind, you can be using this if you want to see other colors better, to change the colors of your enemies, right? Enemy squad member. So as you can see, the enemies are red if your colorblind mode is off, whereas the enemies will will be highlighted with yellow if you are using Protanopia, Deuteranopia, Tritanopia, right? So I don't recommend using colorblind mode just as of now, but you can experiment that later on, right? So other things would be, so your mouse and keyboard, you can always customize your keys. So so the only thing you need to customize here according to me is going to be your jump. Your jump, I put my jump on scroll wheel down, so because scroll wheel down jump, there is something called bee hopping or bunny hop, right? So bee hopping is like faster movement. I'll be teaching you a little basics about that later on in the video. So basically you'll be need to bind your scroll wheel to mouse scroll wheel, bind your jump to mouse scroll wheel down or up. You can do whatever you want, or you can bind it to both of them if you are willing, right? And then I've changed some other settings which is not really that necessary, right? Okay, you can play different legends when you boot up the game. So there are your basic legends, which are Bloodhound, Bangalore, Gibraltar, Lifeline and all. So those are the basic legends which will be available to you at the start. At the start of the game, you don't have to pay for them, you don't have to do anything. Whereas there are some other legends, for example Octane and Ash and all your Caustic, Watson and all. So in order to unlock these legends, you need to play a game, play a lot of games. So when you play games, you'll be earning something known as these legend tokens here. So whenever you earn these legend tokens, you'll be able to use these tokens and buy other characters. These legend tokens are not only used for buying other characters, you can use these tokens to buy skins for these characters. For example, there are weapon skins, there are different outfits for these characters. You can make your characters look good. So I personally recommend using the tokens just to buy different characters, so that you can experiment with a lot of different characters. And also you guys might be wondering, what class should you start with? So I would recommend starting with one of the basic classes which are available, right? So in those basic classes, I think the easiest classes you need to play at the start would be Bloodhound. So Bloodhound will be a support character actually. So but this guy is having an ability called uh, Eye of the Allfather. That's a tactical activity. So there is 3 types of abilities available for each class, and your tactical ability is the one which you can use it periodically, like for a few seconds after it gets refreshed. So this thing basically highlights all of your areas, and it will show you whatever how many enemies there are and all, etc., right? And then you have your ultimate. For ultimate, Beast of the Hunt, that is also pretty good. You will basically increase all your senses and you will be able to fire and kill people faster. You will basically go onto a fast mode and your senses will be heightened basically, so that is good. Other supporting characters would be Lifeline is good if you want to if you want to heal up other people, this is also another support character. So if you want to go, okay, if you want to go a little bit more assaulty way, then you can use Bangalore, which has a good passive, which has smoke launcher, so whenever you need to get out of fights, or if you want to missile them, if you want to bombard an area, you can call your ultimate. So keep in mind that ultimate takes more time to reload compared to your tactical ability. So for ultimates it's like 1 minute reload time or something, right? And then for mobility you can use Pathfinder. I don't really recommend using Pathfinder if it's your beginner, if you are a beginner. And I think personally, I think the most fun class would be Octane, especially if you're playing solos. In order to get Octane though, you need to again play the game, earn some legend tokens, and then spend it and buy this guy. This guy is not available at the start of the game, right? Now, yeah. Now, so now you are into the game. You know what legend to play. What is your next step now? So as soon as you boot up the game, I would recommend you to use training mode or firing range. So training mode will basically teach you how to play the game, the literal basics of this game. After you go into training mode, I would highly recommend using firing range. So in this firing range, you will basically be made available with all of the weapons which are in the game, and you can use these weapons and use these weapons to train. So, and I'll be showing you shortly. Arena, this is basically a firing range mode. So basically you'll be made available with all of these weapon types here. So there are multiple types of weapons. There's heavy weapons. Heavy weapons will be using heavy rounds. So the most common heavy weapon here would be a flatline or a car SMG. I personally use car SMG. So right, there's a variety of weapons. You can try out each one of these weapons. So I personally recommend car SMG to because this is having faster fire rate and it is really good. So basically when you come here, you'll be having all your moving targets, your robots, and there's your moving target, then your standing targets. So basically you can use this to basically right. So while you shoot, you'll be gaining. So while you shoot, as you can see, you have enabled bullets, ray tracing of bullets off. You won't be able to see it, but basically each gun will be having their own pattern. It is not necessary that you learn this pattern, but it is good if you can do that. You don't have to buy all of these patterns. As I said, I'm only going to be using some of the guns in this game, so only the guns which are important for you are going to be used in this game. And then other category of weapons include your shotguns. So in your shotguns you have Peacekeeper and your Eva shotgun. These are the only two shotguns which I use. You can of course use your Mastiff shotgun. Some people like it. I personally don't prefer using this. Then Peacekeeper is going to be a less beginner friendly one, because this Peacekeeper, as you can see, when you shoot, it requires time to reload for each shot. So therefore if you're a beginner, you might want to use something which is more automatic. So then for an auto shotgun, you have something known as an Eva 8, which is an auto shotgun. So this is a very beginner friendly weapon because you can just hold down your left trigger and you'll be shooting enemies like this. If you are more into backpacks, and there are Evo shields. Evo shields are the ones which you will be getting when you damage the enemy in combat. You will be upgrading your Evo shields. So I think it needs, so there'll be markers. So as soon as you hit those benchmarks, you'll be upgrading your Evo shields to your next level. That is the one which you'll be using in your in-games, right? So apart from that, you'll be having something known as legendary weapons. So in these legendary weapons, so these are very rare weapons. You can get these things from supply drops. The only things I personally like would be your Hemlock Burst AR and your Kraber, which is your sniper. So this thing is actually really good if you're good at it. And then coming to light weapons, I don't really like most of these light weapons. The only thing I personally recommend using would be R301 carbine. This is also a beginner friendly weapon because it does not have just easily shoot the I can easily get headshots in this one because there is less recoil. And there are also attachments in this game. So the best attachments you need to look for as soon as you land in an open map would be your scope if you're a beginner, because you need your scope to aim. And the next best thing would be your extended magazine. Extended magazine is good because you'll be holding a lot more ammo within your reload pack, so that is one of the major things you need to look for. And as far as your heals go, you'll be having normal shields, you'll be having med kits, and you'll be having phoenix kits. So I personally recommend using shield batteries and shield cells. I usually carry most of them. Most of the shields I carry are going to be batteries, but you can also carry shield cells. So shield cells you requires only 3 seconds to use, so when you're in the fight it is better to pop a shield cell rather than a shield battery, because this will be easier to pop, right? So you'll easily gain a small amount of health. Then there's also something called as uh, gold items. So gold items, like you have a gold knockdown shield. Gold knockdown shield basically lets you revive yourself. Basically you don't have to wait for your teammate to come and revive you, so that is good one. Next you have your gold backpack. So gold backpack can be used to keep large medical supplies in your inventory. So usually this gold backpack goes to some of your support characters or your defensive characters, for example Gibraltar. And then you have your gold helmet. So this will reduce your tactical and ultimate ability. So this thing again needs to go into some guy who has some character which is having a good ultimate ability, but it is having a lot of cooldown time, right? So this is the best one, so give it to that supporting character. Don't be greedy when you're playing the game. So you need to be playing this game as a team game rather than a solos game, because there is no solo mode in this game. Then there is also your gold shield. Gold shields will basically improve your effects, your shield effects and your syringe effects will be improved if you are using gold shields. Apart from that, you can just come into this lobby and you can just practice your shooting. Also for each gun there is going, coming to your grenades, you'll be having 3 types of grenades. One is going to be a thermite grenades. So thermite grenades are usually useful whenever you're in an enclosed area. So basically you are in some house or something, you won't be using much of thermite grenades when you are out in the open. So this will basically create a firewall, so whoever stands in that wall will be burning. So I don't personally use this one much. And then is going to be a frag grenade. Frag grenade is really useful if you want some people who are hiding in some position to come out. But there is also an alternative to this frag grenade, which is going to be our arc star. Arc star is my personal favorite one. So this is easy to use and basically you can stick it on to other people. So whenever you stick it on to other people, after a small amount of time it will be exploding, right? So this is also used if you want to, if you know that some enemy is hiding or camping at some place and you want them to come out of their hiding, you can just throw an arc star their way and they have to come out of their hiding. So one last thing I want to touch about is your movement in the game. So your movement in the game is actually very important. So as you can see here, if you're holding a gun and if you're trying to run, you're running at a slower speed than if you sheath your weapon, right? So whenever you sheath your weapon or don't hold any weapons on your arm, so basically you'll be moving at a faster rate. So make sure then while you're rotating into the zones, you'll be sheathing your weapon rather than holding it out on your hand. And also another thing you need to know would be sliding, right? So sliding and hopping, there's something known as bee hopping, so where you slide and hop, right? So basically you'll be crouching. Sliding is nothing but crouch. So when you are running, if you press the crouch button, you will basically slide. So as soon as you slide, you will be you need to make sure that you hop. So this will lead to a continuous movement called as bee hopping. Bee hopping is actually nerfed in this game, but it can still be very useful if you are good at it, right? So looks like this, but use sliding to your advantage. You can use sliding in variety of different ways. Most likely it is used in slopes like this. Whenever you have slopes, you can just go here and slide, you will get a speed boost. So using this slide movements to get around the map quickly. And there is something known as jump which you can do. This is a more advanced level. So basically you can go up to a concrete wall or something, or some stone slab or something, and you can jump off that stone slab. This can be used while you are in combat to confuse enemies, but again this is going to be a little more intermediate skill and you need to learn it after you learn the basics of the game, right? So but you utilize the sliding and movement in the game so that you can rotate faster in games. So basically whenever you hot drop, you need to make sure that you don't hot drop right away when the bus is here. So you should try to drop at some less secure locations. Like for example, where there is this blue arrow, it is called as a hot zone. So here you'll be getting high tier loot, but there's also going to be chances that more number of people land there. So always land at an area where there is less contestation. So that is a way to land. And also make sure that whenever you are landing, you get split up from your teammates, because so if all of your teammates and you land on the same specific location, you condense it for loot and you might only get like 1 or 2 guns. So it is always better to split up right before you land. So that's another good tip. And also always while you're landing, you'll be landing on the weapons rather than landing on the armor or loot, because weapons is always the most important one to land on. Even if you land on an armor and then even if you land on, let's say, a gold armor and the other guy gets like even a small Mozambique shotgun, he can still kill you because you don't have a weapon. Right? So always make sure that you land on the weapons. So weapons must be your first priority as soon as you land. Followed by your health, heals, shields and everything. Then followed by your extensions.
We've got 45 seconds.
Also, while you're playing the game, make sure you ping the item so that your teammates can see the item. If you're not using voice text, or you're not chatting with your teammates, or you're playing randoms or something, it is always better to ping the stuff, right? So that other people will know whatever it's there. So if your teammates get looted up more, it is also more beneficial for you, because since if they are stronger, then they can also help you win the fights, right? So even if you're playing random teammates, make sure to ping, because again, this game is a teamwork game, it is not a solo game. It's always better to help others. I usually go for quick crafts. For example, the best way to best things I'll be usually crafting will be a shield battery. Else, if you do not want a shield battery, the only other thing I usually craft for is going to be your purple backpack. A purple backpack, if you have a purple backpack, you can hold a lot of stuff. So therefore, always try to get a good backpack. If you are unable to get a good backpack and you have like 20 or 40, always go for shield batteries. Shield batteries early game will help you a lot. Also note that when you are playing a game, you can always ping. So for example, here I do not have a backpack slot, so I can just click the middle mouse button, or else if you have binded that key to a different thing, you can click that key. So this will request for a backpack for your teammates. Again, if you're not chatting with your voice or anything, you can always request using these shortcut keys. So basically here your in-game character will ask for whatever you need. As you can see, currently the zone is quite far from where I'm at, so therefore I need to I need to rotate early. So rotating early has multiple benefits. If you rotate late, you might get stuck in the zone. Not only that, you might get stuck at a place where people are both behind you and in front of you. So therefore they can pin you down in the middle and you'll get killed right away. So it is always, in most of the cases, it is better to rotate early, especially in public matches, and especially if you're a beginner. In this game there is something known as skill-based matchmaking, but this skill-based matchmaking doesn't depend on what level you are. It only depends on the match which you played recently. So if you like won the previous match, then you will be matched up with the people who are actually pretty good, whereas if you lost the previous match, or if you didn't have too many kills, or if you died right off the start, then you'll be matched with people who are having the same skill level as you. So it doesn't depend on the history of your matches, it just depends on your most recent matches. So you need to keep that in mind while you're matching up.